and all of a sudden, Ricky went platinum, double platinum, and
Yeah.
T. Graham Brown was still T was This is weird, and if you can explain this to me, or Mike can, then I'll be a happy man. Brown had #1 records, and had
Can I get another beer out of there? I hate drinking all
I'm
your beer.
giving you one. That's what I'm
One
doing right
after
now.
another. I mean-
PBR, okay?
Yeah.
Brown was having hits.
Yeah.
He was on the radio, #1. Hell and High Water was #1. I think Don't Go to Stranger was #2. I mean, he was having hits, but it didn't. For some reason, it didn't translate into record sales.
All kinds of shit that goes on with that. You know, they ways of buying your way up the charts.
Right. Buying your way up the charts.
But
Exactly.
But not
Yeah.
actually selling records.
And you and Drake were working with Ricky.
Yeah,
Shelby
well,
Van,
I was
Shelby
working.
Van Rectum.
Chevy Dem Ricky.
Shelby Van Rectum.
I was working. I was working for Brown, and Brown. I had kind of run my. It was funny because Tony and I, T. Graham Tony, we were buddies before he was ever famous, and man, we kind of got to a little bit of loggerheads, and you know.
That's the name of Mitch's band,
What?
Loggerhead.
Yeah, that's the name of a band.
Oh, well, it's a good name.
I know it. It works for us.
Well, and so I was ready to make a move, and Ricky, all of a sudden, see, T. Graham fires Drake. Drake goes to work for Ricky, and Ricky, all of a sudden, is the new big thing. He's knocking Randy Travis off the charts, and he's not only getting #1s, he's selling fucking records. I got the platinums on my wall to prove it. He's going through the roof, and he's drawing 5,000-8,000 people,
Yeah,
and girls
yeah.
are throwing fucking underwear at him.
Yeah,
and all.
and most of them, just
Clean underwear.
fucking, yeah.
Well, you hope not. But. So,
Remind me to tell the underwear story after you get done.
Oh, there's more.
I don't even know if this story if this was a.
Oh, that was the story where he went in saying he wanted to remain anonymous.
Oh yeah,
Be-
yeah. And then
not getting any attention.
Yeah, and then Drake saw him over at the bar, and he's going, and we couldn't hear what was going, but Ricky's going,
Yeah,
and she's going like that, and he's going. She's going, and then all of a sudden he's singing. Then he's up at the bandstand, and some guy's leaning over the bandstand, and Ricky's talking to him. And the guy's going, no. So I mean, we all remember different way, but Ricky.
So you just stopped at a bar and they don't know who the hell he is.
Right.
That makes sense.
And he liked being anonymous for about 15 minutes.
And
And
that
then he
was
didn't
it.
like it anymore.
He wanted to be Ricky Van
He wanted to
Shelton.
be back to being Ricky Van Shelton. Well, Ricky would go through these periods where he was real devout and wouldn't drink, and then everybody else couldn't drink.
Oh
and then,
God, I know. I hear it.
But then there were times when Ricky wasn't devout, and it would say Ricky's back to being Elvis. And that's when it was fun, because we were out at titty bars and Ricky's fucking making it rain, and we're fucking hanging out with with the titty girls, because Ricky's drinking again and we're happy. So we're being sponsored by Miller, and we always have a couple of cases of genuine draft in the dressing room when they go on the bay of the bus. Well, now we got a 6 or 7 people band and crew, maybe 8. And we're drinking like Shriners on the bus. And we're going through all our beer. We're getting the buses pull over so we can get into Ricky's Bay and get beer out of Ricky's Bay and put it on the band bus. So we've been doing this for months. And all of a sudden, Ricky fucking pulls both buses over, and he comes on our bus, and he's really pissed off, and he goes, I'm sick and tired of this band running out of beer. In my early days, which he never had, when I was just playing the chicken wire clubs, which he never did, he called us.
If he was in a band in Virginia, there was of any note, we would have known him.
Yeah,
We
right.
knew all
Yeah.
the bands, we knew
Yeah.
all the guys,
and they all knew us.
Yeah,
And he said,
I don't think he even knew who we were.
He didn't, because he wasn't in the joints. He was just a great.
Bullshitter.
He was just a great singer that got discovered in Nashville. He didn't have any. He didn't have any background coming up through the joints like we did. That was nonsense. He made it up in his head. But he used to call a 6-pack a carton.
Cotton.
And he'd say, even when I was back playing the chicken wire clubs and the VFWs, I always had a couple of spare cartons in the trunk of my car. Now, I pay you guys good money if I'm not wrong, and I don't expect this fucking band to be running out of beer. I'm going to start fining this band every time this band runs out of beer. There's no excuse for it.
Get outta
And he
here.
stomps off the bus. And I said,
What
this,
is- yeah.
and I wasn't on the job that
Oh,
long.
my God.
I said, this is the first job where the job description had in the codicil of the double secret probation that you get in trouble for running out of beer.
Beer.
Oh, beer. Oh, he was a character. And there was a side of me that Ricky pissed off, but there was a side of me that really loved him. And I'll tell you this, Mitch, that guy couldn't sing flat if you pointed a pistol at him.
His own tongue, right on it.
I never heard him that he wasn't on the fucking note. A flawless baritone.
What's that? Where's he at these days?
Back in Virginia, Grit, Virginia,
Doing
with
what?
Betty, with Todd.
Todd.
I think Ricky always had a side of him that was given to evangelical Christianity,
Yeah.
and a side of
He
him.
probably had sang in the church.
Oh, I think so too. And Rick, there's no way that Ricky hadn't sung since he was a little boy. This was a voice that had always been there. This was a God-given instrument. This was completely untrained. He just opened his mouth and it was there. It was an extraordinary voice. And I'll tell you what, he would sing Statue of a Fool and he would make guys cry. I mean, I got a recording. As a matter of fact, I got it when we could turn it up. I probably got it in here, a live recording of us doing Statue of a Fool.
Oh, it was great. It's a great band.
He's singing like on the level of fucking Elvis Presley, for real. Ricky was the genuine article.
Yeah.
But I think that
I've got
he
some.
had this stupid gun, this stupid pea shoot. What the fuck was it? It was either a 25 or 22. 25. I think it was a 22 pistol, gold, like a painted gold, plated.
Say hello to Ann.
Hi, Ann.
And when he got he was stopping drinking, and he made this story up that the devil was on the bus,
Oh, yes, and he wrestled.
and we wrestled. Ricky was going to kill
Back and
himself,
forth from the
and
back to the front of
they
the bus.
wrestled, had a big long wrestling match
Up the aisleway.
with Satan himself.
Get out of here.
Listen to this.
And
Wow.
he had the horns and everything.
He goes on Lorianne Crook's TV show.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is after he's told it to
Crook
Murph.
and
the
Chase.
Murph, yeah, he goes along Lorianne's show, and he's telling this story, and what can she do? She's got a show to run too.
Yeah.
She goes in, and Ricky, what did the devil look like? And he went, Lorianne, just like in the movies. He had horns and everything. For real, bro. Just like in the movies. He had horns and
real
everything.
quick, the story I wanted to tell about the underwear before I forget about it. When you
Underwear.
play with these guys, girls will throw
Yeah.
their underwear or a bra or whatever onto the stage.
Yeah, that ain't bad.
And sometimes, they just slide up there and they slide across the page. One time, we were playing somewhere in Texas, I suppose, and we're all standing up there. And we see this thing coming in. Boom, boom, boom. It's a pair of underwear that I swear to God is this fucking big. And we're all looking. We can see it coming in. I remember me and Joey looking at Joey and Maddox over there. What the fuck? This thing can't sneak in under the radar. And it was a pair of underwear that landed on the stage, this big. We're all just saying, "Holy fuck, where did that come from?" You know, immediately everybody's got looking for the fat girl.
My wife, she got the occasion to dance with George Strait one night. And that was back when George was just coming up through the hoops. And they were already groupies. Deborah's a big old George Strait fan.
Sure.
And back when he was playing the smaller festivals, and he played the Strawberry Festival. And Deb went to see George, and she got some backstage passes. This was back before I was ever doing music, so this was back in the early 90s, late 80s.
Yeah.
And George told her, "I'm staying at the Holiday Inn tonight." Yeah, and it's a true story. And Deb and I, we would always split our ways. You go see George, and that's cool. You know, I'm gonna do my thing. You do your thing.
If you saw Deb, you would understand.
Okay.
Beautiful woman.
Yes.
And so she went to see George, and I'm home thinking, God dang, she get in a car wreck, and it's like 3:00 in the morning. You know, and she finally shows up. And what's up? She goes, "Dance with George." Dance with George? What do you mean dance with George? He asked me to meet him at the Holiday Inn, and I'm sorry, but I had to do that. So she did. And now, when she goes to see a George Strait concert, she'll wear 4 bras so that she can keep throwing them out.
And who can blame her? And who can blame her?
And I told her, I said, "Baby," I said, "I don't blame you." I said, if it had been Dolly Parton, I said, I'd probably be showing up at 5 a.m. But
You know, I've never met her.
I have.
I never met her.